This part of cluster 3 question 5, I'm going to be pretending to be Mr. Strict, and also I'll be the agent Lesio for obvious reasons. I wouldn't be able to get anyone to play this with me, so I decided to do it myself. Hope that's fine. We'll ensure I'll make the best possible to pretend I am Mr. Strict as well. So first part, that's myself, the agent, asking Mr. Straight. So I'm going to be using this. Every time I'm using this, I will be Mr. Straight. Without this, I will be the agent. Okay, let's start with this. First question. How long have you been lived here, Mr. Straight? I've been living here over 12 years, and I think now it's time to move on. When downsize, my wife wants a property that is less maintenance and easy to keep. Have you done any renovations, Mr. Street? Yes, we built the walls at the front, the fence walls, also the patio outside at the back, and that's pretty much it. And we painted the whole outside of the house. We haven't painted the inside, but all the outside. That's renovations we've done in the last 12 years. And do you have any time frame that you wanted to get this sold, Mr. Strict? Yes, ideally I'd like to move as quick as possible so we can keep going with our plan to move into a smaller property. And do you have any idea what the property worth? Yeah, I was hoping to get 1.7 million for the property. Do you think it's possible? We're doing a CMI, which we call, and we're going to see all the comparables, and then I'll have a fairly good idea whether this price of yours is achievable. Cluster 3, question 5, item 3. Mr. Strict, do you have the council approval for the patio and also for the walls that you build at the front? I have to check, but I'm pretty sure the builder done some certificate for us, and I'm pretty sure we have that approved by the council. And I'm going to contact the builder, and I will revert that to you shortly. Do you have a safe switch and fire alarms checked by an electrician recently? Well, I know I have a fire alarm, but I'm not 100% sure about the safe switch. I have to check with the electrician. Do you have any electrician you could recommend us? Yeah, definitely. Our agency works with many different tradesmen, and I can easily get you an electrician to take a look, but we definitely need this if we're going to move forward with this sale. Cluster 3, question 5, item 4. Lesio, is there anything I should do with the property to get a better price? Mrs. Strict, absolutely. I definitely going to recommend few items which I strongly think if you're able to do those things, that will add significant value, or at least going to facilitate us to get a better quality buyers. So the first thing is clean your driveway. If you could hire a company or for pressure washing on your driveway, also on your white collarbone roof, that will be great, because that will we will present the property very clean, nice and neat, exactly how buyers like to have there. Another thing I really recommend you doing is to paint all those 2 walls here on the living room in white. This green color, it's a little bit out of date for the current trend, right? You don't have to do it, but if you do it, you will nail. We can get a more like a wider range of buyers because believe me or not, people just want to paint. They don't want to do anything. So if you could just paint it white and make the whole house white, nice and neutral, would be fantastic. So pressure cleaning outside, pressure cleaning the roof, and also painting those two walls here in the living room. Cluster 3, question 5, item 5. So I looked into the market and I put together what we call CMA, which basically means comparable market analysis. And we saw on this street 20 Maidstone Crescent, and we saw on your street that we have about 3 houses have recently sold. So the first one is number 23 Maidstone Crescent, a 4-bedroom house like yours, with only 1 living. Okay, so your house has 2 livings, which adds more value, but at least we have a good reference here. 500 square meter block. Your block is 750. Sold for 1.12 million, right? Obviously, it's not a reference from similar properties with less feature, how much you sell for. And also, this one doesn't have a pool. Yours has a really nice pool. So 28 Maidstone Crescent sold for 1.54 million, okay, early this year, which is a little bit closer to the number that you wanted to achieve, but stay with me. 4-bedroom house, sitting on 700 square meter block, only 1 living, doesn't have office. You have office separate as well, which you could call it like 5th room, but you're gonna call office and keep the 2 living rooms as well. Even though one of the living rooms we can call entertainment room because they are doors. It's sold for 1.54 and it's not on the same conditions as well. 700 square meter block, you have extra 50 square meter block and doesn't have a pool, right? And then this is the best one. In December 2024, before these 3 interest rates cut that we had, 20 this rate Maidstone, 4-bedroom house, with a swimming pool, 800 square meter block, was sold for $1.7 million. So conditions of the house are very similar to yours, but doesn't have the front private space that you made with a caravan park opportunity. It's the front. So I would say that we potentially will be confident to easily achieve at least 1.7. Potentially, we could achieve 1.8 based on this recent sale that was sold just next door of yours. So let's focus on this comparable, and then we can price it accordingly. But definitely, it's something that we can potentially achieve. Now, cluster 3. Question 5, item 6. Bless you, how are we going to sell my property? There are 3 ways that we sell properties. First one is public auction, which we schedule a certain time for the auction, normally 4 weeks. And then we collect all interested parties. Everyone has to go unconditional. And the day of auction, you will get the house sold, most likely. We try achieve the reserve price, and then any offer above the reserve price we bring to you during the auction, and you can decide whether you want to sell or not. And then the second way that we sell is private treat, which is the most common way. Essentially what we do, we set a price, and then we collect a lot of buyers' interest. So buyers can start putting offer, and then we bring the offers to you, and then we can start negotiating with buyers. Ideally, we want more than 1 buyer, so we can start sort of bidding against to each other. But what we want to do is we wanted to market the property, and then we can get the offer that best suits the conditions that you want as well, which is fast settlement. Third way we can sell your property is via tender. So essentially, tender works this way. So we establish a time, maybe 2 weeks from now, which every buyer needs to put the best offer. It's going to be a one-off goal. They put the best offer and we take the best offer to you, and then we decide which one you're going to go with, right? It is the best way. It depends on the market. With this market, it's heating up, but it's still not extremely hot. We want to do that when the market is extremely hot and we get like 15 groups in the first inspection, and then we see that people are really interested. Then that can be very effective to sell quickly. Ideally, what I would recommend, and highly recommend, is that we go with private rate, and then it's easier for you to decide as well, and you can negotiate with buyers, unlike the auction or the tender. Hi Les, can you explain me about the open homes? Yes, open homes we normally conduct during the weekend. Eventually, in this case, we also be open for private inspections, provided that you are available to let us get into the property. Sometimes people are unable to attend on Saturdays, which is the day that which I recommend the inspection. So we can potentially open during the week as well. If we do during the week, we can potentially schedule that for Wednesday or Thursday. We can discuss that during the week, but most definitely we will do on the weekend at least one inspection. And then obviously I'd really need you guys to present the house on the best possible way, which means with the mole cut, trimmed, the garden well maintained, free of clutters. If you have kids, just gotta make sure everything is nice, kept in the box. Normally I will come about half an hour before, just to make sure all the windows are open. We have full light during the inspection. If it's hot, we will turn on the aircon as well to make sure the house is nice and chilled. Yeah, essentially you don't have to worry about anything during the inspection, but I would like you to help us by ensuring that the house is well presented during the inspection. I will come up again a half an hour earlier just to make sure we can tighten up anything needed, but essentially that's how it's going to work. And then obviously we'll always prefer that the vendors they are not in the house, so we don't have any problems or inconvenient questions from prospect buyers. During the inspection, we always gotta prioritize safety from the prospect buyer, so it's gotta make sure there's nothing on the way that people can trip over or anything that could harm potential buyers. What about the fees for listing the property? So what are the fees for to sell the property, pretty much? So essentially we charge 2.5% plus GST as commission, and obviously there are going to be some listing fees, which I'm only going to ask you for things that I find extremely relevant, which obviously a lot of photos of the property, area as well, a video. Look, we don't have to do a video, but would it be great to do a video, because then we can capture potential interstate buyers that can look at the property through videos, and then they can make their way to here to actually physically inspect as well. That's what we're going to be doing. And once again, during the inspection, we just let us do the job. That's what we paid for, and this way they don't intervene with anything during the campaign. In regards to your privacy, one of the things we have in the office is a database password protected, so which means nobody will have access for your personal information other than people that are directly involved into this process. Hey Liz, how are we going to communicate with us during the campaign? Say like we have inspection, how do we know the result inspection? After every inspection and every open homes, we are going to give you a call straight away. And obviously, if I'm unable to reach, I'm going to be sending you a message, and I'm always available 24/7 anyway. So you can always come back to me anytime you want. But most importantly, our levels of communication is very, very high, and that's one of the flaws of the industry. So what we want to make sure is every single step of the process, you know exactly what's happening, how many people are talking, what the feedback from prospect buyers is, and much more, obviously. And then once we collect all the information, after obviously the feedback, we're going to be adding all the information into our CRM, which is, by the way, password protected. You will receive once a week a full report of every single party, every single activity from prospect buyers, feedback, everything once a week, and that will keep you up to the date from every single level of this campaign. Is that okay if we send that via email once a week for you? Oh yeah, Les, your email is pretty good. Yeah, you can always call as well anytime. Yeah. And another thing we do during the week, we can pretty much contact you every day. We have updates of other inspections, people that will be inquiring on the property. Would you like us to contact you every day or every couple of days? What do you prefer? I think every 3 days is pretty good enough. Every 3 days will be good. Fantastic. We're going to keep you informed for every single inquiry, every single activity on your property. Well, Mr. Strick, I'm very pleased that you decide to sign up with us, and that's great. I'm sure we're going to give you a very good result. The next step now is to sign up for Form 6, which I'm going to be giving to you now. So if you have any questions, the time is now, or you can always send us email or text message, whatever is easier for you. The office will pre-fill their form for you. You don't have to worry about too much, but I'm going to give you some details like a lot number and property address, which is the street number. On this Form 6, what about Part 4, Terms of Appointment? What does it mean? So we're going to be signing you up for 90 days. That's the way we like to operate in order to get the best results. So essentially, sign up for 90 days, which is the maximum length that it is allowed for us to do under the Form 6. And then what happened is it just means that we are going to be the sole agents that will be selling your property, and that is beneficial for many reasons. One is that we can control the pool of prospect buyers, and we can manage, you can negotiate which one of them. Imagine if there's another agent and it's also talking to the same buyers, that wouldn't work out. So we just we prefer doing that way because that will give you a far better result in every single angle. Which brings us also to Part 6, which is exclusive agency, and that's exactly what I explained to you before. Technically we could sign with many agents you want, but obviously we want to make sure we can streamline the bias and manage every single one to give you the best outcome. Iglesia, what about Part 7 commission? How does that work? As I mentioned before, our commission is 2.5 plus GST, which means that you pay this amount from the overall sales price. So essentially what we do is just going to be paying by the settlement, not going to be paying anything before the settlement. So that will benefit you in terms of cash flow, and will allow us to do our job and get paid at the end. Alessio, what about Part K, authorization for fees in charge? What does it mean? Essentially, that means the whole campaign will incur other costs related to marketing, obviously, because we listed into two different portals, realestate.com and also domain. So there are costs involved as per the proposal that I have discussed with you previously. With our agency, you can pay that at the end of the settlement as well, but there has to be part of the costs involving of selling the property as well, simply because that's where everyone, every prospect buyer will be looking at purchasing the property through those platforms. Also photos, a drone image, video, for example. Again, I think it's up to you. We could decide that now, but I recommend obviously a lot of photos, but video as well inside the property, because that will allow and facilitate in the States buyers to look at the property without physically being a property. So that's why I've been suggesting that as well. Mr. Strick, thank you for signing Form 6. That is fantastic. Now, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go back to the office and send you a copy of that Form 6 just for your records. And together with that, I'm going to be forwarding to you a seller's communication plan, which will outline exactly how we're going to be communicating with you as per the explanation that we just had in this conversation. So will be sent by email together with Form 6. This seller communications plan will give you a fairly good idea how the sales process will proceed every single step, so you are aware of lead times and when we're going to have a photo shooting, listing and everything. So it's extremely important that you and wife taking a carefully read on that, and obviously if you have any questions, just flick me a message or give me a call. I'll be available for you anyway. Well, thank you very much, Leslie, and looking forward for this listing and for the sales, and hopefully we get a really good result. Yes, no worries, and thank you for choosing us, and I'm confident that we're going to give a really good result. I'll talk to you very, very soon.